Okay, we have our guests now ready and all our experts. Today we have with us right now Shrikant Chauhan and we have Ruchit Jain joining us right now, and we'll also be joined by SV Prasad and Meghna Malkan in a short while from now. Let me start off with Shrikant. Just a little bit left, about 10 minutes left for the markets to open. Why don't you give us your top picks?
While looking at the overall trend of the market, I'm of the view that the way the market is consuming its time since the last 3 weeks. In fact, from the starting of this month, market is in the range of 200 points only, and a lot of stock specific activity is there. And currently we are at the higher upper boundary of the current trading range of 8700 and 8500. So based on this, we have selected those ideas which are very close to their important support levels, and they are reversing back to hit their upper boundary. So broadly, we are of the view that when we have started rallying from the levels of 7900, I mean to say after the event of Brexit, we have seen activity in almost all infrastructure stocks. So this time also we are expecting activity out of infra related stocks, and Larsen is the stock to look for because a lot of infra related stocks are doing well. Larsen, which is currently stabilizing since last 2 weeks around this 1450, 1480 kind of levels. There we have a lot of confidence, and we are of the view that it is heading for 1550 or 1550 or 1600 on the high side. So with a stop loss at 1465, we can take long position in Larsen at current levels. The other stock which we like is HCL Technologies, and from the technology pack, we are specifically bullish on TCS and HCL Technologies. Infosys, we are still of the view that it is heading for 950, 920. But HCL Technology, especially after announcing its result, now the stock is close to its support area of 785, 790. There we can take confident long positions, and we can keep a target of 830 on the high side. The last one which we like is again from the pharma space, and the stock is Aurobindo Pharma. The stock has formed some symmetrical triangle formation on daily basis. It is very close to its breakout level. Today I think the stock is going to announce its result tomorrow. So tomorrow
the stock is going to announce its
yeah, exactly. So I think the stock is having very high beta. At the same time, it is very close to its breakout level. So we are of the view that technically it's a strong bet to buy with a minimum price target of 800, but maybe in the long run we are going to see the levels of 1000. So broadly we are bullish on the stock, and that is why we are of the view that we can take long positions in Aurobindo Pharma at current levels, and we can keep a stop loss at 745.
Right, Shrikant. Ruchit, what are your top picks? Titan, Jain Irrigation and Engineers India Limited?
Yeah, good morning. Well, we have seen most of the mid caps giving a good momentum in last couple of trading sessions. So with Nifty index still remaining range bound, we are expecting this stock specific momentum to continue. First pick that I've recommended today is a buy call in Titan. Probably the stock has been forming this high top, high bottom formation since last 3-4 months, and recently the stock has given a good corrective move post testing the higher 430. Prices are now trading near this rising trend line support of high top, high bottom structure, and hence the risk reward is much favorable for a pullback move again from current levels. I don't have very aggressive targets on the higher side for Titan, but since the stock is trading near that support and there's a good risk reward ratio, one can look to go long around current levels, keeping stop loss below 389 for target placed around 422. My second pick is a buy call in Jain Irrigation. Well, this is a call based on the weekly charts. If you observe the weekly charts, then after 1.5 year, the stock has given a breakout of its resistance, which was placed around 76, 77. So probably this is a positive sign, and even on the breakouts last week, the volumes were comparatively much higher. So a breakout with good volumes indicates that a good upside momentum could be seen in this stock. So around current levels, one can look to go long in Jain Irrigation. Keep a stop loss below 75, and levels around 90 could be seen in very short term. And my last call is a buy call in Engineers India. More of a similar pattern that we have seen in a rising market in the most of the mid caps, the high top, high bottom structure. Good volumes have been coming in this up move, and hence we are expecting continuation of this uptrend. On longer term charts, there's some gap placed around 255, 256. So hence we are expecting that gap to be filled, and hence for a target of 256, one can go long in Engineers India, keeping a stop loss below 225.
All right, gentlemen, just stay with us. We're going to take a very short break, and SV Prasad and Meghna Malkan are also with us, but we'll come back to them in just a couple of minutes. Let's just look at why the Sensex and Nifty have stopped after pre-open. Just about, I guess, a minute left for pre-open to close. But that's where you see 86.67. All right, pre-open bids have come in 86.67. That is just below the pivot of the day. And technical traders who look at that would indicate that this is a market which is trying to take a pause till it gets more cues. Slightly below the pivot, so not a bullish indicator as of now. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Stay with us. S.V. Prasad and Meghna Malkan are with us right now. Thank you so much for joining us. S.V., let me get your picks. I know you're a long-term investor. You like big cap stocks. What are you looking at right now?
I mean, I stick to what I mentioned last week as well. Basically, SBI, HPCL and PGCIL with the power grid, with the only caveat that the market's kind of going up and up. Buy it at any time it dips a bit, buy. Because what we also need to appreciate is from these level, the sort of gains you're going to see, you're not going to see the same level of gains what we have seen in the past few months. Well, markets have run up. Let's face it. And the only other thing I would like to mention is somebody who's looking at small cap. I think I would much rather, at least the individual investor, I would much rather strongly advise them to look at the better performing consistent mutual funds for small cap and mid cap rather than trying to do their own punting. Right. Because markets have run up. I mean, and mid cap and small cap have run up that much more than large cap.
Yeah, right. Just 40 seconds left. Meghna, could you give your picks to us?
Well, I have a buy call on Voltas and Tata Chem. The two buy calls based on a similar setup of moving into all-time highs, and my third buy call would be on Jain Irrigation because of a good breakout after a very long time. So these are my three ball counts.
Right, just about 20 to 30 seconds remaining for markets to open. We'll come back to our guest once we have the opening prices. Expected to be an absolutely flattish sort of start this morning.
Right, and I guess the overhang right now, Pankaj, the fact that the markets are trading below that pivot or just around that pivot is of course what the big investors and FIIs and all are going to do vis-a-vis Urjit Patel's appointment. So let's see how the Nifty and Sensex opens, Pankaj. Just about 2 seconds left.
Right on, and we should get the first prizes coming out anytime soon. Now we should have the bell ringing. There you go. In terms of first trade, absolutely flat in terms of start. 0.10 paisa higher for the Nifty and 6 points. Okay, immediately we've seen a downtick coming in for the market. 6 points now down for Nifty. Cipla up about 1 rupee. HDFC Bank absolutely flat. HDFC Limited down about 2 rupees. Kotak Mahindra Bank down close to 0.5%. HUL 0.5% gains. Dr. Reddy's up about 0.5. Grasim up about 7 rupees, but really no change for Grasim, no volumes as well, not even 500 shares traded. Idea is among the top gainers, but just look at the gains, it's absolutely flat. 0.5 cannot be called as a top gainer. Volumes, however, are 46,000, but it's a very small name as well. Bharti Infratel is the next top gainer. No particular news flow again, but it's been a very volatile stock. It's been among the top gaining and the losers list for a while. Fortis Healthcare just up about 1 rupee or 1.5 rupees or so. Actually, let's just pull up Fortis Malahar. I think that will be an interesting one because that surprised the street. So Fortis Malahar is up 20% or so. We'll just get across to that in just a bit. Fortis Healthcare, we'll be joined by the management quite soon. As far as some of the losers are concerned on the Nifty pack, so Lupin is down about 1.3. Hindalco is down close to 1% or so. And Sun Pharma is also down about 1%. Technology as a pack, okay, there you go in Lupin, 1,557, 24,000 shares. Sun Pharma down about 1.5. TCS is down, so IT as a pack continues to be a slight bit of underperformer. Axis Bank, Tata Steel, Coal India are some of the other losers to the tune of about close to about between 1 and about 0.5%. Just wanted to highlight Sun TV. Sun TV declared numbers during this weekend. It's down about 2.5% right now. And let's just look at Welspun India. Now, we'll get to the details of this. Welspun is down about 20% I think one of their clients has gone ahead and reduced their guidance quite materially. Welspun India is, of course, a towel maker, but it's down about 20%. on the first news.
All right, that's the big story. Welspun India, 20% down. One of the stories that are coming out in the media is that Target Corp. It's a big real estate, retail player, and it sources textiles from Welspun India, garments and textiles from Welspun India. As you said, the towel maker, Welspun does make those towels for Wimbledon as well. They said that Welspun sent them wrong towels or wrong cotton products. These cotton products were supposed to be Egyptian cotton, but Welspun sent them wrong, and they've stopped their deal with Welspun, and that is why you're seeing that 20% decline in Welspun. It's worth looking at whether Welspun's business with Target is so huge that it warrants a 20% decline. But yes, it could be an issue of corporate governance. We're going to speak to SV about that in more detail. But let's pull up some other counters. Oberoi Realty, that's up 6.9%. And now what we're doing is we're looking at the top 50 turnover stocks right now, the ones with the highest turnover, and we're looking at the ones which have gained the maximum. Oberoi Realty, 33% gains in PAT. The numbers came out over the weekend, and its profit after tax has gone up by 33%. A marginal drop in EBITDA margins, but I think the markets are just giving a thumbs up to that movement. Aptech Limited, 3% up right now, 3.7% as I speak. Aptech. Ujjivan Financial Services, one of the subsidiaries, have apparently now asked for another bank license. So Ujjivan Finance, that one is up 2.7%. Piramal, 2.5%. Jubilant Life, it's on the buy list of many brokerages. Many of our experts have been talking about it as well. It's doing well, 1.6% up. Mercator Lines, 1.5% up. Jet Airways, 1.4% up. Fortis Healthcare, a demerger plan going through, up about 1.3%. Castrol, 1.1%, and some others about 1% down. But the biggest loser right now is Sun TV, 2.3% down, and that's largely because of the margin contraction in Sun TV. It has more or less been in line. Its numbers have been more or less in line, but the margins have gone down, and even the subscription addition, which is I think gone up by about 22% has been lower than what the markets expected. That's what we are seeing on Sun TV, the biggest drop, 2.3%. REC down about 1.3%. Hero MotoCorp about 1% down. So not major movements there, and you don't see those 20% movements, except for, as we pointed out, in the case of Welspun India, where we'll get more details as we speak. NVCC has got a new order. That's up about 1.1% at the moment. So that's the picture that you're seeing on your screen. SV, just wanted to get a sense with you, from you. First of all, do you track Welspun India at all?
No, not really. I mean, not really. But see, what we need to, whatever little I know of the management is a good management, I mean, but I don't track the stock. Yeah. But typically what happens, this is exactly I said when I made the opening remarks, Anindya, that, these kind of mid-cap, small-cap names, the movements can be wild, both up and down. The gyrations can be a lot. So that's the ride is as good as riding on a roller coaster. So if somebody who likes that, but otherwise, frankly, on a regular basis, I don't track this stock. So it'll be unfair on my part to comment too much about this stock.
What we've been able to pick up from the markets is that Target, as you know, is a big retailer globally, and Target buys bed sheets from Welspun India, and they've actually had to recall about 2.5 lakh odd, as 250,000 odd bed sheets, 750,000 actually. So 7.5 lakh bed sheets that they discovered last month, that these sheets and pillowcases, they were marked Egyptian cotton, and tests showed that they weren't. It was another type of cotton, so they had to pull them back, and they're apparently going to have to give refunds. These are things that they sold between 2014 and 2016, and they were being sold at about $75 odd per sheet and pillowcase cover, as high as. That's what they have declared, and they've therefore severed all their ties. The biggest customer that Welspun India has is Bed Bath & Beyond, and this is a big retail chain in the US. Bed Bath & Beyond does all kinds of things which are related to bath products, towels, bed sheets, and also sells other things as well. It's their biggest customer, and the wealth target was their number 2 customer right now. And Welspun supplies carpets and towels and bed sheets and stuff to some of the top retailers in the world, and I wonder what will happen when one looks at that. And as we were mentioning, Wimbledon, the Rugby World Cup towels, all are made by Welspun India. So you're seeing an impact on Welspun Corp as well. These are the big things that we are seeing. All right, I'm going to go back to our technical guest as well for more details. Let me ask Shrikant Chauhan, do you track Welspun? Is it a liquid counter? Do you track it?
Yeah, I think it's a solid counter. If we go through with the mid-cap basket, I think it is like not exactly the mid-cap stock. It is actually entering into that large-cap basket because the way the turnover is there of the company. But while looking at its overall pattern of the stock, I am of the view that technically it is correcting. It has in fact formed some reversal formation when it was at the highest point of the current rally, and because of this news flow, now the stock is falling. If there is a corporate governance kind of issue, and if there is any not any specific clarification from the company side, then definitely we should stay away from the company. But purely on the charts, on long-term basis, the stock is having very good support around 75, 76 levels. And if there is a long-term view, then I think certainly we should look for adding the stock around those levels if there is any specific clarification, because I am of the view that if they clarifies on this particular issue, then this stock can again go to the next levels of maybe 100 plus. So overall, we are specifically bullish on this particular stock, but only after the clarification of this news.
All right. SV, I just want to get your sense on what you think about the new RBI governor and how that makes a difference to your SBI call.
I think it's excellent that the decision has been taken well in time. The passing of the baton is going to happen very smoothly. He's been around for quite a few years in RBI. He's been the author of a lot of the initiatives, including the whole initiative on inflation. In terms of his educational qualification, background, absolutely top-class names. And I would frankly think, with no value judgment as such on the present outgoing governor, but he would represent the typical governor, low profile, you doesn't talk much. I think in that sense it kind of syncs well with what the government would like their senior bureaucrats, RBI governor to be. I think it's an excellent choice, and therefore the markets will clearly give a thumbs up. And honestly, from an SBI point of view, I'm quite delighted, because if the present chairman gets an extension, and then we are talking of the merger of the banks, etc. If there's any PSU bank that will tide over the issues, the legacy issues, the baggage which the PSU banks are carrying, I would put my bets on SBI. And I hold SBI, I mentioned, I hold SBI, I hold HPCL, I hold Power Grid. So that's clearly, I think it's a very good decision that's been taken as far as the RBI governor is concerned. And also he has the network on it. I think in this job, what's also important is you need the networks both in North Block and within the RBI. So he has the networks, and apparently is an excellent team player as well, but he has his own view. So it's a pretty good combination, if one may say. And he's also had corporate experience. He's worked in IDFC, he's worked in Reliance. So it's not that he's only a kind of a theoretical person who's only worked in an IMF or that kind of thing. And only one quick one on Welspun. I would also tend to believe that if the management clarifies, I would tend to, whatever my little understanding of the stock, I would also take that call. But after the management clarifies and one is satisfied that the clarification is justifiable.
Right. Ruchit, what's your view as far as Sun TV is concerned? It's down 2.5%, 3% Generally has been a decent performer in the last 2-3 months.
Pankaj, well, if we see there's a different structure and different time frame for Sun TV. Well, on the daily charts, first we observed that the recent high in the prices was not accompanied by a higher high in RSI. So there was a negative divergence on Friday's trading session. So basically that's a corrective move from a negative divergence on RSI if you look at the daily charts. But at the same time, if you observe the monthly charts, then there was a strong breakout in recent past of the resistance of 440, 450. So looking at that, long-term charts are indicating that the 440, 450 range, which was the resistance earlier and with the breakout has been given, that is likely to act as a support. So the recent corrective move which we are seeing in today's session probably could be just a correction within an uptrend. I don't think that the stock would correct much beyond 450 levels. So any corrective move, if it comes around 450, I think that would be again a buying opportunity in this, keeping a stop loss below 435. So I'm not very bearish on Sun TV, but definitely this is just a corrective move, and if the stock corrects around 450, that should be used as a buying opportunity.
Right, just to clarify, only if it corrects around the 450 marks you would advise to buy.
Yes, because as of now, as I said, on daily charts there is a negative divergence. So due to that, the prices may correct, and if it corrects 450, which was the earlier breakout, now that would act as a support. So I would like the stock to correct up to 450, and only if it comes around those levels, the risk-reward ratio again would be favorable for going longs.
Right, Meghna, one cash stock, Oberoi Realty, is up 6-7%. 2.5 lakh shares in terms of volumes. Generally, we don't see volumes and price action into this name. How would you look at Oberoi Realty?
Yeah, well, the stock doesn't seem to be traded much. If you see, technically, there's not much data onto the chart, but whatever is there on the daily charts, at least whatever I can make out, stock is at momentum support, and the action, the candlestick pattern especially being formed very randomly, so not much data interpretation can be done, but it shows some kind of support at this level around 255 to 260 levels, I would say. So that's all that I can make out from the chart, technically from the daily chart, that is.
Right, Meghna, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Ruchit, Shrikant, SV, thank you so much for taking out time this morning for us. As far as markets are concerned, 15 minutes into open, Sensex is up about 20 odd points.